Hey everybody, Shane here, daily-astrocat.com. We have astrology for Tuesday, the 17th of March. Hey, it's St. Patrick's Day, right? So, happy St. Patrick's Day to you. And look, there's a few things that we get to focus on today. After yesterday, where we had a little bit of, a little bit of confusion, but we had a lot of information, right? I've been on my show. If you did not listen to it, please go back and listen. It was very important. I tend to, I just stumbled onto something about brain function frequencies in water and of all things, all sorts of things. So please go back and listen to that one. So there's a few things that we're going to be able to focus on today. And the first one is really kind of a biggie. We have an applying square between Venus and Jupiter. What's that going to mean? It's going to be making itself felt. Now, there's a strong impetus for us to be moving forward, okay? But we can't let our home situation slow us down. In other words, Jupiter is, we kind of talked about that yesterday with this current world events and stuff like that, making it more difficult for us to bring abundance into our lives because of, rising prices and just instability and uncertainty. So this makes it, there's a strong impetus for us to move forward. And, but what is it? How is it? Well, Jupiter is reluctant because that's where it's happening. Venus is very, very pushing because she's in Aries. She wants to go. She's not happy in Aries. It's nice for her. It's a sexy look, but she just wants to be able to get to the point where she is getting as much things to fuel her comfort, so she feels comfortable in Aries. And that is what is happening. That distraction with Jupiter, we gotta put that to rest. We really do. We just have to just take them all out. And I mean distractions that you're having right now. I know we're supposed to give them up with the moons and stuff like that, but I know that I haven't, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of you may be in the same boat. So we got to just make sure that we are focusing on what it is. Now, look, this hasn't affected everyone in the same way. You're not all like me, right? That's true. But if you are lagging, it's time to recommit. It's time to really just get going forward. Maybe you're immune to it. Maybe you were able to go forward. Maybe you were able to do some things because Mercury retrograde is not affecting your sign or your ascendant as much as it is affecting mine. But that's this is what we have to do to be able to get around it. Now, if you're not one to be left behind, you're going to need to harness this energy and drive, because we're starting to move forward, and we're going to be moving forward as soon as that. We should be moving forward right now, actually. When the solstice hits on the 20th, Mercury will be direct. It's all forward. There's no backwards. There's no nothing. You have to be all in. So a good way to get all in is to start today. Now, the moon conjunct Mercury is gently nudging Mercury to begin thinking as if he is direct. Now, this comes from Pluto, right? Because the moon, last aspect the moon had, the last conjunction was with Pluto. We need change, and we need it now, and we need to be able to do some things and think about things and communicate things. And, maybe it won't be perfect, but we got to do it, because as Mercury goes direct, then we'll be able to refine those processes and do it. It's very important that we technologically try to get those computer programs working, try to get through that stuff. It's hard, and I get it. It really is. But we need to try. And as the more we try, the easier it will be to make it correct in a couple weeks' time. Now, there's only 3 days left of this Mercury retrograde. We need to make sure that we put this act into action. The good times will roll tonight, later on today, but a little action applied in the afternoon is going to yield a looked-for result. There's a prediction for you. And today's keyword is happening. So it's happening. We're starting to feel it. We're ending this winter, right? That's what the solstice is. We're ending winter. Our color is teal. Now, we're rapidly winding down this Pisces season. We are moving there, and it's not a moment too soon. We're done. We just need to get to springtime, right? We need to get. We just need to be where we want to go. But the key thing here is not springtime. It is growth. It is forward motion. It is momentum, and we need to come out of this Pisces season with some of that momentum intact. It's difficult with Mercury being retrograde, believe me, because it fell right within the season just about perfectly. Now, there's something here, though. As we open up our minds to the flow around us, there are a few things that really, really are just striking me, okay? The first one is stay hydrated. I am super, super guilty of not doing this. I don't know if anybody else is bad at it or not. But as we learned yesterday, water in the brain helps to filter out unwanted and unhelpful, unnecessary frequencies. And it helps us maintain a better balance overall. Mental balance. Now, look, and it does. It helps us with that balance. So look, try to stay a little bit more hydrated. Let me know if it helps you, if you stay on task. I'm going to try it. I'm just going to try to make it a point to try to stay a bit more hydrated. I'm horrible at it, I got to tell you. I really am. I could live on coffee. But we need the water. We need the hydration. There's water in coffee, but, it also has caffeine, so don't want to do that. Follow your instincts and don't turn your back on any opportunities. Venus in Aries requires sustenance, and she is hungering. She's in a position to squeeze Jupiter for more. She really wants more. Jupiter is reluctant. Now, how do we make this happen? Well, you got to ask for it. You got to make sure you're asking for it. Venus is going to be asking for it. Happy Venus, happy life, right? So, the moon meets up with Mars today. Also meets up with Mercury earlier. Pluto is ready to shake things up, and it's up to Mars to figure out what can be done. What is it that we need to do? How is it that we're going to get beyond this point where we're at, where we're stuck societally, right? We got to make that stuff work out. Just because we're acting intuitively, it doesn't excuse us for not thinking things through. Let that one sink in. Think before you act, and that includes speaking. Give up your non-productive habits. Yeah, I've got a couple. I got to tell you, I got a couple. And begin getting into some better ones. Chiron is still in Aries. Oh, boy. Take advantage of it, Shane. And it's going to be a super opportunity for us to get on the right track. And if we can get everything on the right track holistically, as far as what we need to be doing, we will find that success and all those other things will come naturally as we get into the flow, because the flow is taking us in a direction of growth and towards abundance. And that's really what we need to be heading towards and thinking about. The time for the winter is gone. That oh my goodness, I just need to sit here and not go out in the storm. We're done. We need to go out. We need to get out there. We need to get into the flow. Later on, the moon in gentle Pisces trines Jupiter tonight. And what should this discussion look like between the moon and Jupiter? Well, think about it. Pluto wants change. Venus, she wants it all. She's in Aries. She's going to want to be comfortable. She's going to want to be adored. She's going to want to be creative. She wants to be appreciating everything that life has to offer right now, not waiting for it. What would the moon say to Jupiter? Patience and empathy? That will go a long way, especially as we contemplate what Venus desires and balance it against what Jupiter is willing to supply. Now, the moon dampens Jupiter's expectations and asks Jupiter to align the rewards with frequencies rather than actions. That's a very interesting thought. I'm going to just leave that there. In 1905, Albert Einstein finishes his scientific paper detailing his quantum theory of light, a foundation of modern physics. Yes, the year 1905 That's very important. You know why? Because that is when our current petal of Venus cycle actually shifted into the signs that it is right now. And we're just about nearing the end of it, but it began in 1905. And that Venus cycle, the petals of Venus, go back and look for those, okay? Because I did it last year, and it was quite fascinating because we had a Venus retrograde last year, and it was kind of cool. That would be good to go dig through my archive for. And then in 1988, our birth is Grimes, Claire Boucher. She's a Canadian pop musician, born in Vancouver, British Columbia, and that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate and love every single one of you. Today's keyword is happening, as in you got to make it happen. And the color is teal. Today is a 5. Happy astrocatting.